Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This tutorial for you today is on my makeup look for the weekend. I hope you enjoy. I've had to voice over as I forgot to turn my microphone on, so I'm just going to voice over this video. So the first thing I do when I get out of the shower is brush through my hair so that there's no tangles left and the product just glides through the hair. The first product that I use is argan oil, and I put about 3 pumps into my hand and then I spread it towards the ends of my hair, towards the roots. And then lastly, I put through number 5 heat protection spray. Now I want to make sure my face is completely clean before putting on my makeup. So I'm going to use this Garnier Skin Active Rose Water that cleans my skin really well. Then I put on my moisturizer, which is the Simple Moisturizer. I put this all through my skin to make sure my skin's not dry before I put on my makeup. Then I start off with my brows. For my brows, I use All Benefit products, starting with the brow conditioner, which I just put through both brows before putting on any product. And then I use my Precise Brow Pencil in the shade 3. And what I do is I just mimic the hairs of the brow going along from the middle to the ends. Then I use my brow gel and go along the tail of the brows, making sure to not go too close to the center of the brows, as the gel will make it very prominent. And then lastly, the last brow product that I use is the Brow Fiber Gel that you can just put all over your eyebrows to make sure that they're all set in place. It also tints them slightly so that when you have all your makeup on, any blonde hairs are slightly tinted so that it makes your eyebrows appear a lot more full. Next, I move on to my eyeshadow. So I'm going to start off with the base, which is the P. Louise Rumor base. Unfortunately, it's a bit dark for me, so I mix it with the LA Girl White Foundation until they've released a lighter color so that it works with my skin tone. And then I just mix these two together and then pat it on my eyelids, all over the eyelids on both sides until you have like a mask-like look. So after the base is settled, I'm going to use my eyeshadow. For the eyeshadow, I'm going to use Violet Voss Pro eyeshadows, and I'm going to start with a transition color. I'm going to use Bestie from the Shadow Palette. I'm just going to use my 224S MAC brush to put this in and blend it into the crease. Next, I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use Are You Kidding Me? And with a slightly smaller brush, I'm going to work my way into the crease with this color. And then lastly, I'm going to go in with Brownie Points with the smallest brush I have, working my way into the crease for a bit more of a prominent look. So once you're happy with your eyeshadow blending, the next thing to do is move on to the actual crease on the eyelid. For this, I go back to the base that I created and I just pat it in with a smudger brush on top of my eyelid until there's a crease crescent on top of my eyelid. And then what I do is I grab the lightest color from my eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using, which is Crystal, and just using another eyeshadow brush, I pat this onto that base to make sure that it sets. So once you're happy with the eyeshadow, we move on to lashes. To prep the eyelashes, I curl each side 3 to 5 seconds. Then I grab a mascara. This is my Look X mascara that I use to prime the lashes. And I just put on either side a little bit of mascara so that when I've got my lashes on, they stick together. Then I use my accent lashes, number 5 in Allure. Now, accent lashes don't go all the way across the eyes, so they're a lot easier to apply and they don't come off as easy. I also use this duo glue that you can get from Primark or on Beauty Bay to put on the lashes as it sets them really well. And then just putting on the lashes, I use my tweezers to set it at the line, and I pinch my lashes with the fake lashes to make sure they're as close to my natural eyelash line as possible. If you struggle with this, you can always use eyeliner to fill in the gap so that it looks like it's closer to the eyelash line. So now we're moving on to the face. For the face, I'm going to use my Porefessional Primer by Benefit that I find really works well with my skin. And I'm just going to blend that into my skin with my hands all over my face, wherever I'm going to be applying any foundation. And then I get out my Beauty Blender. Now what you want to do with your Beauty Blender is you want to run it under some water and then squeeze it out until it's wrung out. This is a comparison of a Beauty Blender that's been wrung under cold water and one that hasn't. It's a lot more dense, the one that hasn't, whereas the one that has is a lot easier to squidge and better for blending. So next I use my foundation, which is Armani in the shade 5 and 5.25. I'm going to mix these two together on my skin to create the right skin tone for myself. I always find that blenders work a lot better than brushes because the patting actually pats it into the skin so it sets better and you don't get any weird lines from the foundation or the brushes. Once you've done your foundation, you move on to the contour. For my contour, I use Artisan Makeup Contour and Highlight Stick. I highlight my T-zone, my nose, and my chin. And with the contour stick, I go along my cheeks and my forehead and just around my chin and nose, just so that I get any contouring in my face as much as possible. Then we blend that all in until it's all set in and looks more natural. Once it's all blended in, you'll get a nice subtle contour on your face. Then I go back to doing under my eyes using the same color, Bestie, Are You Kidding Me, and Brownie Points, just towards the inner eye so that it blends in nicely, but making sure you don't go too dark or too heavy under the eyes. So once you've finished putting on your mascara on the bottom lashes, I use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Micro Powder. This is in the shade 2, which is medium, and I just pat this into any places that will crease on my face, such as under my eyes, on my forehead, or around my lips, just to make sure that my foundation doesn't crease in these points. Next, I use my Armani bronzer and just contour a little bit more where I contoured before, just to add a bit more of an emphasis on the contour. For finishing touches, I'm going to use my highlighter. It's an Iconic London Illuminator, and I'm just going to highlight on my nose, under my eyebrows, in the inner corners of my eye, and possibly on the top of my lip, wherever you want to highlight. A little bit of this goes a long way. It's very pigmented. Once you finish the face, you can put on your lipstick. I'm going to use my liquid lipstick by Huda Beauty in the shade Wifey, which I really love. And don't worry if you get it over the edges, because we go back over with some concealer around the edges of the lips just to neaten up any overlining that we might have done. Or you could use your foundation color if you don't want it to stand out as much. Once we've finished the full face, we can move on to the hair, which is what I do last before I'm going out. And after I've dried my hair, I just straighten all over for length. The more you straighten, the longer your hair will appear. I do this before I curl the ends, just so that I get a longer appearance. After the hair is fully straight, you can move on to curling the edges. I find this gives the hair a little bit more volume and it's a little bit more interesting. It also suits my face a lot better to have a little bit of a curl. So after you've finished curling it, you can just hairspray the ends and the side of the face and then let that set for 2 to 5 minutes. While I'm letting the hairspray set, I'm just going to use my setting spray for my makeup and just spray that all over my face so that the makeup keeps the look better. And then after, when my hair is ready, I'm going to brush from the ends up towards the roots just to get that curl nice and fluffy rather than static. And then that's the finished look. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'd really appreciate if you'd leave some feedback in the comments or if you'd subscribe. Thanks for watching.